question number 9, the Honourable Henare.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Social Development and Employment and asks, what is the government doing to help teen parents get ahead?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
We make no apologies for actually targeting our resources to this vulnerable group of teen parents who desperately need our help. It's a shocking fact that until this government, no one even bothered to count them, let alone do anything for them. The welfare system has been failing them and their children, and this government makes no apology for resetting the system to give them a helping hand and even a dose of tough love.
The Honourable Henare.
Mr. Speaker, has the Minister seen any reports on the reliability of the Household Labour Force Survey statistics?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, yes. I actually have a report here that says...
Point of order, the Honourable Rick Barker.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. What has this matter of the Household Labour Force statistics got to do with the primary question? He is surely out of order, has been well wide of the mark.
Speaking to the point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I'll hear the Honourable Henare on the point of order.
Mr. Speaker, several questions throughout the week have had as the basis of the question the Household Labour Force Survey, and this is just a continuum of that question, Mr. Speaker.
I'll hear the Honourable Simon Power.
Speaking briefly to the point of order raised by the Honourable Rick Barker, any attempt to link empirical and statistical evidence to questions such as how are we helping a particular group to get ahead must surely assist the House in its quest for information on this issue.
I'll hear the Honourable Rick Barker finally.
Mr. Speaker, there is no relevance to this particular question about what has happened in the preceding week. This is the assertion of the Honourable Henare. Those questions have been and gone. Had the member wished to raise matters about statistics and about the Household Labour Force Survey, it should have been in the primary question. Secondly, it is fair enough for the member to raise a matter about Household Labour Force Survey statistics if they were referred to by the Minister in her question. But the Minister made no reference to the matter. There is absolutely no linkage between the two whatsoever.
She can't understand it.
Well,
And she gave him the question.
I don't usually rule questions out unless it's perceived that it's unreasonable to put such a question to the Minister. I do note questions asked today, not just last week, linked exactly these two issues. I seem to remember one particular question question number 4 from the member's own party, referred to unemployed young people, 15 to 19-year-olds, and then pursued issues to do with the Household Labour Force Survey. And it would seem that the Honourable Simon Power's point is reasonably well made, that in the interests of the House obtaining useful information, for me to rule the question out would be perhaps a little unfair. If it was not possible for the Minister to answer it, then I think the member would be on pretty reasonable grounds. But I think it would be unreasonable for me to rule it out. The Honourable Paula Bennett. Point of order, the Honourable Rick Barker.
Mr. Speaker, I would just draw your attention to the question asked by the Honourable Trevor Mallard, which makes specific mention to the household labour, to matters of statistics of 15 and 19-year-olds, etc., and so therefore it is legitimate. Now, I just want to say, Mr. Speaker, let's be fair about this. If you're going to be very generous, as you appear to be in this particular case, about allowing a question with little tangible connection other than the matter that's been referred to from the Honourable Henare, then you're going to have to allow such a question from the opposition. And it's not going to be therefore acceptable for the Minister to say it's no connection to this question. So if this question is allowed on this process, then it's going to widen the scope of questions substantially in the future for ministers from members of the opposition.
Well, I mean, the member may reflect on the fact that just the question number 7 today, there were issues around how closely related the primary question supplementaries were. And I mean, the member raises a good point. And if there were no connection at all, I would say the member's absolutely right, it should be ruled out. But given the questioning flow in the House over this issue, and this has been one of the key issues of question time the last couple of days, it would seem to me to be unreasonable for me to be too pedantic about it. But the member is right that strictly I could be pedantic and say the primary question and the supplementary aren't sufficiently closely related, but then I'd be ignoring the flow of question time, the intention of question time, to make sure that the House obtains useful information. But there has to be a link, and I believe the link on this occasion has been well established over the last couple of days. But I hear what the Honourable Rick Barker is saying. The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I have seen a report on statistics around the Household Labour Force survey, and in fact I've got one where it says that David Benson Pope has put himself at odds with former Minister Steve Henare about the reliability...
Order. No, I'm not going to allow a question like that to be used to slag off other former members or other members of this House. Nowhere in the world. The reason for allowing the question was if, in fact, valuable information for the House were to emerge in relation to this debate around the Household Labour Force survey and young teen parents and young 15 to 19-year-old unemployed people. And if it's going to be used to just slag off another member, I'm afraid that's it. Question number 10, the Honourable Leandale.